Supposedly a church community. Act 2, Scene 2. St. Thomas Church. Yep. Random access self-storage. Doesn't seem like the best system for self-storage if you can only randomly access it, but anyway. Area C entry. See what Shannon has to say. Is that it? Over there? I don't see any congregation. Maybe it's after hours. Let's see what the janitor knows, I guess. Hello, janitor. Oh, here for the night mass? What kind of mass is it? Tonight, it's a homily on work and need. Huh. I haven't heard this one before. Are you the preacher? Oh, I'm the janitor. I guess this much must look pretty strange. A church without a congregation. When they first moved in here, man, this place was packed. They had a mass every night, 2 on Sunday. But it got a bit awkward to fit everybody in, and the numbers quickly dwindled. Once folks started to see it as a thing that was falling apart, they lost their center of gravity and just started wobbling. Then the preacher stopped coming too, but he left his old tapes. Same with the organist. And I found some old acetates in the Bureau archives, photos of people in churches, so I keep it running. You do what you have to, right? Right now we have to find some Bureau documents. Oh, you're from the Bureau. I moved all those documents to Unit C315 to make room for the Mass. It's down at the other end of the building, same floor. I need to get the night Mass started, but you can borrow my keys. I'll go. You wait here. Rest your leg. You're looking kind of pale. Nice lady. Well, I better get this running. Brandon presses play on an old tape machine. Is your whole family Catholic? Oh, no, we're not religious. I just watched and listened when the congregation did all this stuff, and I probably don't understand as much of it as you might think. Anyway, I know how to run the overhead projector and the tape player. At least I know enough to keep it going, right? How do you like working here? It's okay. I don't really know what else to do. I used to play a lot of card games, in high school. Some of my friends went to college, but most of them got jobs. Maybe in a few years we'll be hanging out in bars playing darts or something. You're not allowed to play cards in the bar because it looks like gambling. I guess we can listen to the homily. Beyond the church, this day is celebrated in remembrance of a violent protest in Chicago, and to honor the 4 martyrs who unjustly persecuted in its wake, having not only pursued their vocation in their daily labor, but also having pursued their avocation in the form of protest, activism, community building, radicalization, scholarship, and finally martyrdom. Their and our advocation being, as it should be for all of us as members of the church or otherwise, to secure for our fellow workers the right to labor with dignity. So this is like a hobby? If you asked me what my hobbies were, I'd say card games, science fiction, and perspective geometry. But I run the slideshow, and I play the tapes, and I don't get paid for it. I take it pretty seriously, but nobody's telling me I should. Is that a hobby? Seems like there ought to be a more serious word for it. Okay, that's it. Next, there are some rituals that you and I aren't allowed to participate in, I don't think. And I don't remember them anyway. Hi, got it. Got what? What? I found what we came here to get. The file on the street name changes. You don't look good. Let's head back to the bureau and get this straightened out. And then maybe we should go see that doctor the clerk recommended. She keeps commenting on Conway's appearance. That's kind of ominous. Maybe he hurt his leg even worse and something got infected? I don't know. As usual, this whole scene has a definite WTF factor to it. Why is this person still playing the tapes when no one shows up? Although I can't say I would blame all of the congregation for leaving this area and, maybe setting up a church somewhere else, because this would just be depressing. I mean, look at it. Just floor after floor of the exact same thing. Nothing artistic whatsoever or expressive in the design. Once again, also, we kind of subvert the adventure game trope, because normally when someone tells you, you have to go get this item, and there's a group of people, some people might say to the main character, okay, you go get the item, and I'll stay here, or I'll go do this. But of course, in this instance, the person we're not controlling went to get the item, and then we were just hanging out with the janitor. Although it does make sense that Shannon would volunteer because of Conway's leg. Oh, the lights kind of suddenly shut off there. Jesus, are you alright? What the hell? My leg is stuck. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna pull you out. We have to get you out of here. There you go. Okay, are you hurt? Can you put any weight on that leg? It's fine. Just try to stand up. Careful, I'm right here. Damn, don't worry, I got you. That leg is in bad shape. Here, let's get you onto the tram. There you go. Now let's see if this thing has power. Hey, old man, look at me. Can you hear me? What happened? I don't know. He collapsed. I think he blacked out. He was mumbling about the old mine for a minute. The old mine where we met. Yeah, you might get confused because there's no indication of whether something is being heard in Conway's head or being spoken out loud. But yeah, that was just him kind of flashing back to when he injured his leg. Let's see, what does Conway say here? I think I need to see that doctor. Yes, you do. She hands Brandon the doctor's card. How do we get to this address from here? I don't know. It's pretty tricky going back and forth between, here and there. The Bureau's the only way I know. Some of those folks do it all the time. Commuters. Just go back the way you came, find the crystal, and then turn around. Alright, so the same way we got here, I guess. Which kind of makes sense. As weird as this road is, you can seemingly just backtrack and get to where you came from. Alright, back to the 65 route. Yep, here we go. Act 2, Scene 3. Bureau reclaims spaces. Again. Well, his walk hasn't changed, at least. But the fact that now he's starting to collapse is not good. Here's a little kitty cat. Hello, kitty cat. Speak with the receptionist again. Back so soon? We need to get to the interstate. 65. Lula filed your papers, so you're in our system now. I can process you whenever you're ready to go back. Just let me know. Well, we've already kind of looked all around here, so I don't think we have anything else to do. We're ready to be processed. She hands the receptionist Lula's card. Can you tell us how to get to this address? We're looking for Dr. Truman. Of course. This is in a neighborhood just outside of Bowling Green. Get on 65 going southwest. Take a right just past the observatory, just before the river. If you continue north, you'll be there shortly. Happy to help. All right. So it said 65, and then go southwest. I guess this means we can get on and off the zero when we want now? Ooh. Oops. Around here. Can we visit this place? Maybe it's on this side? I don't know. I guess not. It's just a landmark. Can't interact with it. Let's double check our... Dr. Truman's house. Get a right just past the observatory, and then just before the river. Okay. So let's go back here. So we're going to do here on this side. Here we go. I just didn't go quite far enough north. Dr. Truman's house, question mark. The neighborhood at the address on Lula's card has been demolished. In its place is a large museum, still partially under construction. So I guess that means no doctor? Act 2, Scene 4. Museum of Dwellings. Yeah, well, I guess we should talk to Blue and Shannon first. Oh yeah, he was talking to his dog. Guy was a weirdo. What did he say? Just small talk, you know. Like you talk to your buddies or something. Like you talk to a dock worker. Just like, damn, this is a lot of rain. I haven't seen rain like this since that storm a couple years back that took out Lisette's herb garden. I just feel bad for that old dog getting dragged all over by a couple of drunks. Old dog like that should be sleeping on a porch somewhere, but that's loyalty for you. Well, they didn't stay long anyway. I remember this confused me the first time I came across it, but basically it's not abundantly clear, really, at this point, but we are seeing Conway and Shannon and Blue through a camera, and the voices are the people that are looking at them from the camera footage. I heard the man and the lady say, the lady talking when they first came in, but they didn't see me. What were they talking about? The man said his leg was hurting him. They were looking for Dr. Truman, but he was already gone. But they didn't know, so they kept looking around. I just assumed they were from the power company. You know how they're always coming by unannounced and messing with this or that? I just shut myself up in my room to wait it out. No sense getting involved. How did they get in? Must have been one of those kids who left the front door unlocked. Something's got to be done. They run around like animals. You You know that Flora left a can of soda on top of my shelter door and I almost killed myself, slipping on that sticky mess the next morning? Something's got to be done. Now, it mentioned that it was raining. So we have the option for an umbrella here, although it doesn't look like it's raining in here. Maybe he meant it was raining outside. And sure enough, yep, there it is. You can see there's the truck. It's raining pretty hard. At this point, if I was Conway, I'd be pretty certain that there is no doctor here now. But, like they said in the people watching the tape, kind of wander around, just see what's here. Aha! Can get the camera to follow us around and change our perspective on things. I thought this was kind of cool. Sure enough, it is a museum because you can see it's got little exhibits set up. They were hollering at all the empty tent, you folks that... Oh, let me try that again. They were hollering at that empty tent you folks had on display. Hey, if you ever need anyone to stay in there, I've been in worse positions. I like how the spotlight follows you around. Hey, there's someone here. Do you know, at first I thought it might be Hudson walking up to visit. I'd heard him working on his boat just a bit earlier, before the storm started. But then I saw the stranger's limping gait, and the young woman with him, and I knew it couldn't be. I invited them in for a glass of bourbon, which they politely declined, so I just talked to them on the front porch for a bit. What did you talk about? Oh, we talked a bit about the neighborhood. I told them about Hudson and his sailboat, and the nice young couple in the greenhouse, and the charming Dr. Truman who used to live here. They were very interested in him. But of course, well, I don't know where he went. Do you know, I don't believe either of them had ever set foot on a houseboat before. I don't know that older man had ever seen an ocean, in fact. It has always been my fondest dream to retire on a houseboat. That's why I accepted your offer and moved in here. It isn't perfect, but what home ever is? I only wish the house would sway a bit. I find that it settles my nerves. Well, we have another storm like the last one. It took me, the first time I played this scene, I remember it took me a bit to get used to the fact that everything was being talked about in the past tense of what's going on here by other people, that as opposed to being seen through the character's eyes. But again, it's another interesting kind of switcheroo on what you might expect. Of course, this houseboat here wouldn't be too... I mean, I guess she enjoys it, but then again, you're not actually on the water. So this is more than just a museum. People actually live here. Who knows, with this whole Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces, maybe they swapped the museum space with an actual, like, neighborhood of people. Can't mess with the forklift, although it does look like when we want to, we can go up the elevator. Oh, just to check, can we go off this way? No. Okay. Let's see what this exhibit is about. Sure, I talked with them for a bit. Actually, we talked for quite a while. I wasn't busy. I was happy for the company. Can't sleep in a storm like that. I never could. Let's see. Should we just keep asking about what they talked about? I guess so. I mean, we could change it up, but what did you talk about? I had a bottle in my coat, and I could see the old guy looking at it, and his leg was hurt pretty bad, so I offered him some. He got real awkward about it. I bet he's in a program. Anyway, they were asking about Dr. Truman. I remember him. He was here for a bit, and then he left. So that's what I told him. I'm not sure I've mentioned it before, but in this game, you can see that there's a strong temptation to, for me anyway, to replay a game like this because they only offer you different bits of information, as you can see. There was 3 different things you could have asked Walter about, and one of them is what we chose, which is his interacting with the characters, but the other 2 were about Walter himself. So there is some replay value to be found here, if you're interested in these characters and trying to get a little bit more about the overall story and the universe that we're setting that is set here. We ought to get some real chickens in that coop. Do some homesteading. None of these folks know how to live off the land. You know what I mean? Sure, we'll look into it. Also, I apologize if I'm mixing up the voices, but there are a lot of characters here and I can't always remember which has which voice. I think you need to get some real horses in that stable. Did the strangers go into the stable? No, they just poked around for a bit and talked about barns. They were pretty boring. That dog was nearly as bad a shape as the old man, just sort of shrugging along. They found some treats in the doghouse exhibit. That seemed to cheer them up a bit. Cheered up Conway? No, it would cheer up Blue. See, this barn has a little quilt on the front. I see a lot of those when I'm driving around Kentucky. Quite a number of exhibits here, as you can see. The moment I now recall most clearly from their short visit was the birdcage exhibit. The old man stopped to rest, or maybe to think. The young woman had been anxious up to that point, but she stopped as well, and examined the birdcage more closely. It seemed to elicit a tenderness from her. She ran one fingernail along the bars of the wire cage, marking out a tuneless scale, like a child's xylophone, and then they moved on. Oh, nope, we already went to that one. That's Walter, I believe, if I remember correctly. This one looks like another person's house. Oh, yep. Oh, a little kid. Oh, no, it's not a little kid. Oh, that's Flora, okay. I was playing in that empty cabin and they came by. They asked about Dr. Truman. I know where he went, but I didn't tell them. Well, that's rude. Where did Dr. Truman go? It's a secret. Ezra told me, and I can't tell anyone else. Who is Ezra? He's my age. He doesn't really live here. He's just passing through with his brother Julian. First, they are going to help us, but I can't say anything more about that. We have a lot of secrets. The lady asked me about my parents, and I told them they were upstairs in the greenhouse. Do you want to hear a weird story? Of course I do. The old man asked me about the cabin. He said it looked like another house he knew, and he wanted to know where it came from. I told him nobody lived there, so he went inside. He took a long time exploring. When he came back out, he told me all about it. What did he find in the cabin? He went upstairs, and he also looked around the other rooms. I played with the dog. What did he do upstairs? He looked in some boxes. He looked out the window. He could see the museum better than when he was downstairs. He could tell how it was all put together, and the cabin too. He could see the shape of it better from up here, from up there. Now, the part that is weird. He said he went to the basement. The cabin doesn't have a basement. He said he found a secret door in the floor. Then he found a rope leading down a long pit, and he climbed down. This is getting kind of eerie. The walls were covered in a glowing moss. He used the light of the moss to find a lake at the bottom of the pit. He was a good swimmer, so he found his way back to the cabin. I'm trying not to give Conway too much of a hard time here. He's already looking bad. So then he came back out of the cabin, and we said goodbye, and I didn't talk to them anymore. Well, that sounded like an awesome adventure, Conway. Too bad we couldn't see it on screen. She looks like Flora might be like teenager maybe? It's kind of the impression I got from her appearance there. And we're back. So we did the full loop there. So let's go to the other side of the screen where the elevator was, and we will head up. Oh, I guess we have to go this way to get around. Keep thinking we can just go straight that way, but nope. Gotta rotate the camera. Oh, we didn't hit these, did we? I think we started with the tent. Yeah, I don't remember this one. Just to make sure, there wasn't any others back here first, right? No. Okay. Let's see. This one looks like a trailer. I guess they must have gone through some papers here. It was in some disarray and a few other folders were pulled out and left on the table. I mean, it wasn't too bad. I only noticed because Diane is such a stickler. She's really organized, I mean. Was anything missing? Nope. They pulled out a list of the folks who didn't take the offer. Folks who moved elsewhere. And they filed that back out of order, so I guess they didn't find what they were looking for there. Hey, while I have you here, work's kind of slowed down, and it seems like I know you folks know what you're doing, but it seems like the rest of the residents are just kind of settling in. We'll get your boys back to work soon. Yeah, sure, I get you. You happen to get that last invoice? So it looks like the neighborhood may be still in the process of moving into the museum. Have a look at this one. Got a teeny little trailer here. Yeah, they came by and knocked on the window, and we had a bit of a talk through the glass. I would have come out, but, you know, shady characters. What did you talk about? They were asking about Dr. Truman, and I told them all I know about that, which is not very much. What do you know about Dr. Truman? I told him. He moved in here with the rest of us when you folks brought up the neighborhood, and then one day, his house was gone. And that's all I know about that. I don't know what to talk about that anymore. So they said the neighborhood was brought up. Does that mean it was originally underground where the zero was? Heard them banging around out there and I just stayed quiet. I don't know what they wanted. I just put my headphones on and tried to ignore them, to tell you the truth. Let's see, can we get over to where the rail car is? Nope. Okay. How about over here? No. Okay. Now I think we're done with this first floor. Oh, Conway, I wish you could jog. You were so fast in the very first act. At least in the first part of it. Alright, let's go up this elevator. Oh, we're waiting for the dog to get on. Yeah, we can't leave Blue behind. I think at this point we'll need our umbrella. Whoa, something big is flying around out there. Let's see what's here. They would have come in just rushing around. You could tell they were worn. It was late at night, but they were just rushing around. Now, there was some urgency to the older man's injury, so it's understandable. How was he injured? His leg was twisted or something. He held it while he walked and made these painful little sounds in his throat. Oh, how? I don't know how. I didn't ask. It would have been rude, I think. Well, we just don't know. I suppose we never will. These houses up here look much larger than the ones downstairs. I heard a shout from downstairs, and the old man had stumbled in the rain. I stayed inside with the lights off. There's no sense in my getting involved. Man, that is a huge bird flying around. I didn't see or hear a thing all night. I was in the back doing inventory when they came by. I got 30 cases of candles in. Each one of those has got to be individually labeled, you know. But I heard from some of the other neighbors that they weren't up to any harm, just passing through. This is the water tower in the background there. Hey, there's Ezra. I saw you folks drive up. I like your truck. What kind of truck is that? We got a couple of them at the shop. This is the only one that runs. Oh yeah? The truck, you've got to keep it up. That's why me and Julian don't use a truck. We just carry the houses. Where do you take the houses?
Me and Julian take them out to the forest every night, and then we bring them back at dawn, before the museum opens.
Is Dr. Truman in the forest?
Yes, ma'am. He's out of the forest. Me and Julian took him out there a few nights ago, and he didn't want to come back. He lives there all the time now. This museum is an okay place to live in the daytime, but it's no good at night. Folks just can't sleep in a place like this. Or when they do, it gives them nightmares. So we just take them out to the forest to sleep, and then bring them back in the morning.
Is your family out in the forest?
Oh no, I don't know where they are. Me and Julian were looking for them for a while, but anyway, we have a job to do here now, taking these people out to the forest at night so they can sleep. Maybe if the rest of them feel like Dr. Truman and want to stay out there, we'll get back to looking. Can you tell us how to get to the forest? You have to follow the Green River way out east, and then hop over Lake Cumberland. Roads don't go there. Me and Julian can take you. We're just about to go anyway. I've just got to call him over. Yelling, "Go-go-go-go-go-go-ah-ya!"
Or something like that. Yes, if you haven't guessed already, Julian is that huge bird. Whoa! There go our umbrellas there.